Hey everybody, really appreciate y'all joining tonight and helping us to celebrate the memory of George. Um, all of our, we've got a house full of friends and family and fans, so we're real excited to share a few minutes with you um, for the program. I think that we really want it to be a celebration more than anything else. George meant the world to our family, and we will always remember him in our daily lives. And I know that he meant a lot to many of you. So we're looking forward to sharing this evening with you. In terms of what we're going to do tonight, so we've had several fans and supporters, followers from all of our platforms that have went above and beyond to reach out to us and put in writing what George has meant to them and how George has impacted their lives. So each one of our family, each one in the family is going to take a few of these letters that we received and share it with you. So we think that you'll enjoy it from there. After that, we've got a surprise, a live surprise for you. And then it's no structured, rigid agenda, but we do want to share some key thoughts and memories of Georgia. So, with that, I will hand it over to who's first?
This comes from Cindy, who says, Georgie boy, my whole life I have wanted a monkey. That has not been possible. Then one day I happened upon George on TikTok. From the first video I watched, I fell in love with him, and I was hooked, and I began following him. I loved everything about him. His facial expressions were the best, and his smile just made my day brighter and better. I'm a CNA, and I would share his videos with my residents at the facility, and they fell in love with his antics as well. I never knew you could fall in love from just watching videos, but I did. I just didn't realize how much till he passed. If tears could bring him back, he would be here. I know I'm not the only one who has cried and is still crying. George was special and never can be replaced, and will forever be missed and loved. Thank you family for sharing George with all of us, and for keeping his legacy going. I love you, George, always. This comes from Gigi, who says, my sweet, funny Georgie, to the only monkey I have ever loved without even being in the same room with. Georgie, I'm convinced you were sent as a little angel from God to bring happiness to so many people. Your sweet smile and gentle eyes spoke volumes of how kind your heart was. I thank the Lord every day for guiding me to your webpage so that I can see what funny things you have done that day, so that amidst this screwy life I live, I could get to escape into your world and laugh and smile just watching you. You always had the most human-like expressions and actions that made me completely hypnotized and made me melt. I will consider myself blessed to have been able to watch all your cute reactions, gift openings, fights with Lacey, and all your videos with Will that kept me entertained for hours. My heart is heavy since you have been gone. I pray that you are in the jungle in heaven, making all the angels in the sky smile. I miss you so much, Georgie. You will forever be in my heart. And this comes from Cindy, who says, Georgie, oh, how I miss you so. Your excitement and inquisitive nature at opening packages and reading the booklet that came with the gift. Your chewing noises you made while trying different foods. Your squeals of communication with your family. Your sweet, sleepy face as you lay down to rest after a fun-filled day. And most of all, Georgie, that beautiful smile. I love you, sweet monkey, forever in my heart, Cindy.
All right, I'll go next. Hey, so before I read mine, I wanted to share with you what we have set up tonight. So from George's mom and the girls, we've put together a little memory wall here, just some random pictures where we're all having some fun or some smiles. Our dear friend photographer put together this praying for us, so we're very fortunate to have that. On this table here rests George. That's his urn that we picked out when we got it cremated. The footprint and handprint was done by the previous owner. So here. We did this ourselves. George's mom and their daughters reduced handprints and footprints. And his aunt as well. And one of our fans, Stephanie, bought this for George. So very exciting. And then last but not least is the shadow box that George's mom put together. And those are his last 2 diaper covers that he wore. So it's with heavy heart that we share this with you, but we're glad we could. So wanted to at least let you guys know it was in the background. So I might have missed that in the opening. But all right, so I've got a few letters I'll read myself. This comes to us from Christina Cecilia. And she says, AJ, George's dad, Will, and Sissy, I first want to thank you for sharing George with all of us. These last 67 days have been filled with many, many tears. I can't imagine how difficult this time has been for you, yet amidst your pain, you have continued to be here for all of us. I personally want to let you know how much we love and appreciate everything you have become, everything. You have become my family. Thank you for allowing us to take this journey with you. AJ, what a remarkable mom you are. The love you and George shared was amazing to witness. Thank you for sharing your baby with us. I also need to thank my daughter. Mom, please, you gotta watch George. I promise he will make you smile. If it wasn't for her pestering me to get on TikTok, I would have never had the honor of knowing all of you, who knew my first and only TikTok crush would be a monkey. So all of us, for many different reasons, fell in love with George. His infectious smile, never-ending curiosity, and the pure love he exuded helped us navigate all the trials of life has dealt us. George used the pain of those of us suffering through cancer treatments, struggling with anxiety and depression, and so much more. Kids who never smile for the first time because of George. There is a saying that goes something like, some people come into our lives and quickly go, but they leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never the same. I will never understand why George was taken from us. He brought so much love and joy to our Lord so desperately we need. George may not be physically with us, but boy, did he leave a huge handprint on our hearts, and we will never be the same. I want to challenge everyone here honoring George to continue his legacy of spreading love and joy. In George's memory, let us continue what he started. Let us bring our cheesy smile to everyone we encounter. We all love hearing, George, you got a gift. But this evening, on behalf of all of us, here I want to say, George, you were the gift. Now it's from Christine. Thank you, Christine. That was very nice. Our next one comes from Tiger Kaufman. Georgie Boy, well, is this a poem? No, maybe it was. I'm just going to read it and we'll figure it out. Georgie Boy spread love around the world to every man, woman, boy, and girl. He'd make us smile every day as we watch him read, eat, and play. Although he was small, he had a big heart, and for a fur baby, he was so smart. Watching his videos brought a smile to our face. If more people were like him, this world would be a better place. One thing we can do for our Georgie Boy now is let the spirit of joy live for us somehow. As we live our lives, let's spread joy and always remember our sweet Georgie. Thanks, Tiger. Again, that's from Tiger Kaufman. This next one is a prayer. Some of you may be religious, may not be, but Our fan here, Paula Randall, sent this to us, so I'm going to read it. My people are so precious, Lord. I know you think so too. And I believe you put me here to love them just for you. They take such gentle care of me and have such tender hearts. Please use me, Lord, to comfort them whenever teardrops start. They face a lot of battles as they live and work each day. They need me, Lord, to make them smile and show them how to play. The world is full of people, but sometimes real friends are few. Please let my love and loyalty remind me, Lord, of you. And when my final moment comes, Lord, tell them as we part, I was a made-to-order gift from your great love and heart. And that was by the poems by Hope Harrington Paul, Smith by Paula Randall. So thank you, Paula. Very much appreciated. Okay, the last one I have is from Michelle Alvarado. From Michelle Alvarado. Michelle writes, Sweet Georgian family. First off, my heart deeply goes out to you all. Secondly, I just have to thank you all for sharing George and Lacey with us all. I have lost my job, verge of losing my home, struggled to even eat on some days due to the pandemic. This was the hardest year, Dean, that I couldn't even get my son anything for his birthday yesterday. But let me say that George's videos has got me through the dark times. I have been hospitalized twice due to stress, days I don't even want to live anymore. He has brought me light and life. He had and has the most incredible impact on people. Thank you so much. And that's from Michelle from California. Thank you, Michelle. All right.
This is from Catherine. From a little monkey discovered by chance on Facebook, George quickly became a friend to me. Even if I never had the chance to meet him, or if for him and the family I was just one fan among many others. Even if I lived thousands of kilometers away in France, it's like if a real bond had been exceptionally and made him an extraordinary being. He had such charisma that even through a screen you could feel it. I was devastated when I learned of the accident from the vet and then of his disappearance. Even today, I find it hard to believe that he is no longer here. His photo accompanies me on my smartphone, and I think of him every day. I'm so grateful to the whole family for allowing us to keep the bond that George has created, and I watch with affection the progress that little Lacey is making day by day with the love she receives from family. We no longer see George, but I am convinced that he is still there, looking after his family, helping his sister Lacey to grow, to maintain the bond that unites us all. We who love him around the world. Thank you for all the happiness you gave us, George, and thank you for watching over us. We will never forget your little heart. And that was from Catherine. This is from Hannah. George, you were the most amazing little guy. You touched a lot of people's lives. I love your smile and your funny personality. You were so smart. You were so human-like. You definitely brought me a lot of joy and happiness. I loved watching you and we'll play together. It was great to see. And I miss you so much. You'll never, ever be forgotten. Your legacy will live on for many years to come. I love you, my gorgeous boy. Your number one fan, Hannah, in Southampton, UK. This comes from Aaron. My family and I will always remember George's curiosity, silly personality, his love of golf on TV, and reading the direction. His smile will live on in our hearts forever. Aaron from San Diego, California. And this is from Susan. A year ago, I came across George on TikTok during some of my darkest days of depression. His adorable face and smile warmed my heart and made me feel happy. He had the cutest expressions on his face and human-like eyes. I looked forward to seeing him every day and loved watching him to see what he would do next with his sidekick Will. When George passed, I was devastated by the news. He brought so much joy to so many people like me and was the most beloved monkey in the world. No other monkey can ever take his place because he was so special. I wish I could have hugged him and given him a kiss. I will love you forever, since Georgie boy. And that was from Susan from Allentown.
It says, poem for Georgie Boy Memory. Thank you, George, for showing me how beautiful life really can be. The special memories of you have brought smiles to our faces. We think about you every day. We talk about you with love in our hearts. You will never be forgotten. Your life has touched so many people and continues to help and inspire every single day. We hold you in our hearts, and you guide us through life's up and down from above. Rest in peace, Georgie Boy, until we meet again. That's from Anne Marie. This is from Nora Fletcher. This sweet little monkey had such an impact on me. I know he made such a difference in so many people's lives. I never had any kind of social media until I found a story about him. I was hooked. It was the mattress video. Not sure how it's possible to miss him as much as I still do, even though I never even met him. He felt like family. I still cry sometimes when I watch some of the videos. I will treasure my Georgie Boy things always. Thanks for bringing happiness and joy into my heart. You will never be forgotten. I love you, from Nora F. When I found out about George, I had no idea he would become my favorite social media star. He was such a sweet little guy. I just love to watch his videos and remember him as a sweet little angel he was. You and your family will always be in my prayers, George. Love you forever and always. From Taylor F. This is from Miss Lisa Collins. Just wanted to let you know, George touched my family so much. Every day we would send out his videos in a group text and just laugh at his facial expressions. It's almost like you could tell what he was thinking, and his smile lit up the room. I have a terminal illness. I was receiving treatments in North Carolina when the lockdown for the coronavirus started. My sister and I started watching TikToks and stumbled across George. And honestly, we were on every day waiting for a new George video. I still look at his videos every day. He made things so much better in my life. When you lost George, we grieved with you. I cried so much. I am so glad that we still have Lacey and all these wonderful memories of George. Thank you, AJ, and your family for allowing George to be a part of my family. We also continue to pray for you and your family through this tragedy. Love, Lisa Collins, Kimberly Kennedy, and Virginia from South Carolina. This is from Cynthia. I am a fan of many primates who are already making hits online, but George's smiles and human-like facial expressions were his unique charm that I have always looked forward to. I have fibromyalgia caused by my spine and my thyroid defect symptoms. George eased my pain a lot whenever I am alone suffering in my room. I never wanted anybody to see me in pain, but it became my therapy to look forward to the next videos of George, just to see his reactions and how he would read the instructions of every gift that he opened. He was a good therapist, inspiring many people in these trying times. I am still struggling with my condition, but George's videos have been a part of regaining my strength. I will never forget George, and I am sending my hugs and love to each and every one of y'all, George's family, including Lacey. Though I too can feel the hurt you are going through, I would like to let you know that George will always be in our hearts and his fans all over the world, and he will never be forgotten. Lacey, His sister will come around, as you have said, and I know she will. She is part of George that we will all treasure. Because of that, it is my dream to see you all as happy as George was, that in spite of his innocence, please continue to extend your loving arms to other primates, whether they be capuchins, macaques, chimpanzees, and a lot of their kinds. Projects like George's books are Georgie Boy's pet pages, because he loves to check on pictures, are my suggestions as working title. Ebooks, movies can be something that would make the project for the primate world possible. Also, other pets, if you wish to, can benefit from our suggestions. George will never be seen again in his physical matter, but his spirit shall live forever. We are with you in our own simple ways of making you feel that you are never alone. Regards to everyone, all the best, Miss Cynthia.
Mom, please speak up. Please people
I like George and Benjamin. Like many others, I discovered TikTok during this pandemic. I was alone, and it was a nice distraction. One day, I come across this cute little monkey. I would occasionally see the videos. They all brought a smile to my face. As the pandemic went on, the loneliness became harder. And one bright spot in my day was those 5 words, George, you got a gift. I looked every day for a video. I then started to follow him on Facebook and Instagram. I was really struggling with depression, and it was like God knew I needed some of my darkest moments of the day. I would get that Facebook notification, Georgie Boy, the monkey is live now, and I would pull me out of my sadness and depression. I truly believe George helped me survive this year. He brought a smile, his playfulness, and a true joy of life. And we will all witness brighten my life. I was truly devastated when I learned of his passing. I take comfort now in knowing how much joy he brought to millions. He will be forever missed. I've loved watching Lacey come out of her shell, and I've enjoyed my conversations with AJ. You're an amazing family, and we all are so blessed to have met you through a beautiful little boy. Thank you so much for sharing George and Lacey with the world, Amy. I'm not sure how to express the absolute shining light that George was in my life. Watching his joy at reading, opening gifts, and running off to munch on his special little treats. And grabbing the golf balls off the TV, and playing with Will and snuggle with AJ. Every time he let loose that heartwarming, cheesy smile, filled me with sheer giving and love and appreciation in his life. I miss you, George. Cheryl M.
Grant, you gotta talk louder. Nobody can hear.
Okay, I'll finish up for AJ here. I hope you guys can hear me. I understand we're having some audio problems. I'm trying to speak up, so hopefully it comes in a little better. This letter is a love letter for AJ and the whole family. And this was sent in by Roxanne Biondini. Sorry, Roxanne, if I butchered your name there. It says, "Hi, AJ. My mother and I wanted to write this email a long time ago. We tried to reach out to you on Messenger just a few days after George passed away, but the message got probably lost in the flow that you received. So we wanted to write to you and your family, but we could not before. I guess we were not ready. I don't know if we are really ready now, but the need to write you became too important. Here is our story with Georgie Boy and your little family. We first met him on TikTok probably in February of 2021. And it really was love at first sight. But who would not fall in love with that little face? Very soon, TikTok was not enough. That is how we found you on Facebook and YouTube. Since that moment, Georgie and you guys became part of our family. Every day at 6 p.m., we watched your videos or your Facebook Lives, and if there were not any new videos, we watched some we'd never seen before. The oldest ones available on YouTube. Even my dad, who's not really into social medias and not new, he came back from work every day and asked us, "You're watching Georgie Boy, aren't you?" We were looking after this moment all day long, but it was even more than that. When we had rough days, we were really hanging on this moment because we knew that even if we were sad, lost, or just simply stressed, every bad feeling would disappear the moment we saw his face, and especially his smile. We talked about him so much, like if we'd met him in person. We could not receive an Amazon package or read an instruction book for a new device without thinking about him. During the pandemic, we had a rough time, like a lot of people, including you. My mom is a nurse and was really requested. I had a demanding year too as a med student. My dad's mom was also diagnosed with a metastasis cancer. But even when we were about to break down a little bit, see his face and hear Will's voice asking him, "Hey George, you got a gift," had the power to calm us all down. We loved him so much, I knew that the only gift my mom would receive with joy was a gift from Georgie Boy. So, for Mother's Day, I decided to get her a video from Will and Georgie, wishing her a happy Mother's Day. I think that she never liked a gift that much. We really were waiting after all your videos and updates, and were so excited when a new one popped up. We watched you with so much joy, celebrating his birthday or painting with Mateo Charles. For the first time in our lives, we experimented a pure feeling of happiness without anything needed in return. We really had the feeling that it would never stop. On June 7th, I was not with my mom. It was the 9th. She was at work and I was at home. We saw your post on Facebook telling us that something bad happened and that you needed our prayers and support. Since this moment, we began to watch our phones every 30 minutes to check if there were any updates. As time went by, we had no new updates. We understood that something really bad was going on. We were still hoping, but we were so worried. In the morning the next day, I had an exam, and my grandpa had a checkup for his cancer. So my mom and I didn't really find the time or the courage to talk about the situation. I went to bed and my mom to work, and we continued to check our phones all night long. The next morning, it was the 9th for us with a time difference. I saw your little video explaining Georgie Boy passed away. I was alone at home and I cried about an hour. When my mom came back, she heard me crying behind the closed door and immediately understood. Since that moment, nothing is the same anymore. With Georgie Boy, our lives changed twice. The day we met him and the day he passed away. But we keep thinking that if that very first day he showed up in ours for you, it was for a reason. He lightened our lives. Nowadays, we can't do anything without thinking about him. Opening a package, reading a magazine, eating cashews, every little thing became a reminder that he's no longer with us on this planet. We were not able to look at my mom's video anymore, but we keep in mind that his spirit still lives on through you, through us, and through all his fans around the world. He's with us every day, every minute, more than ever. We think about you, AJ, and your family every day. We'll never feel the pain you're feeling. We cry almost every day. We dream about him, and it is really hard for us to think about him. But it's not close to what you must be feeling. We really wanted to send you all our support to you, AJ, your husband, your 2 girls, to Will, and your other little light, Lacey. The fact that you keep posting your updates, your lives, it means a lot to us. we really need to have some news, and we wanted to thank you to keep updating us. You're really strong, AJ, and full of resources. You're a really good person, such as your whole family. You really deserve the best, and I really hope that after this tough year, the light will be back on you and your family. We send you, your husband, your daughters, Will and Lacey, all our love. This is from Francois and Roxanne from France. So, thank you, Francois and Roxanne. It means a lot. So, thank you very much. Okay, well, we don't have any more letters to read, although we have plenty that we could read. It's, as you can see, it's still emotional, but we can't thank you enough for sending them in, and continue to send them. We're honored that you do. So we're going to change this up a little bit. So I'm going to turn this over to Will in a minute and let him kind of talk to you about what he's going to do and how this came about, and I hope you enjoy it. So we'll talk to you just here in a few minutes.
After George's passing, we received so many heartwarming messages and stories from people all over the world, and it helped us realize just what kind of impact that George had made. And we really appreciate all of your messages and all of your support. It's been incredible. We sincerely love and care for all of you, and we want you all to know that. And a little after George's passing, there was a song that came out that was about George, that came from Soarin' Music on TikTok and other platforms, and I'm gonna post it, but it's inspired me to play the song for you during this memorial service. But the lyrics are beautiful, and it goes like this. Dear George, we know you're opening presents in heaven, though we're hurting down here without your presence. We'll remember the joy that you left us. Like the faces you'd make when you'd open up gifts from us all the laughs you gave, turns out you were the gift all along. Oh, we love you, George. Oh, we love you, George. Till we see your face once more, rest well from George.
Dear George, open presents in heaven. No hurting down here without your presence. We'll remember the joy that you left us. Like the faces you make when you open up gifts from us all. All the laughs you gave, turns out you were until we see your face once more. Rest well, King George.
All right, thanks, Will. That was great. As
Yeah,
come on over. Sorry about that.
For those of you that haven't followed along as closely as others, I wanted to share George's story. The way that George came into our lives, he found us, and AJ here, George's mom, my mother-in-law, was diagnosed with CRPS, which is the most painful disease in the world. And at the time, whenever we found out that there was a Capuchin monkey nearby that needed a home, we thought it might be a good support, for after finding out the news of this disease. And it just so happened that George needed a home right at that time and came into our lives right at the perfect moment for AJ. George, at that time, was already 1 year old, and he hadn't received a lot of the love and care and attention that a lot of monkeys need, especially at that age. And so after we had given him a lot of that and really cared for him and loved for him, he was able to really thrive and be himself and be comfortable, and really provide a lot of smiles and laughs, that supported AJ through that time. And George, if you were here, we would want to say thank you for that, because we don't know what life would be like without you. Eventually, all those smiles and laughs spread through the world, and we were able to share George's fun self with everyone, and he was able to provide that support for the whole world. Like some of our favorite times were when George got his mattress that was mentioned earlier. When George got that mattress, he rolled back over to the back of the room and got ready, and you could see him getting ready, and then he would just jump out and slide on the mattress. And I was lucky enough to have that on camera. And then another favorite one was when George got his ball pit. And before we even put the balls in there, George was jumping around and going through the ball pit like that was the gift. But there was more to it. And then one of the favorites, of course, is when George got his water bottle and opened it and read the instructions, and then looked in the bottle and saw there was no water in there, and then looked at the instructions again, like, where's the water? Those are just some of the favorite moments that we had from George. And but through those fun videos, one thing that after the fact we've realized that while George received gifts daily and we watched him open up gifts daily, it now seems like it symbolized the gift that he was for us, for all of us, and because it reminded us of the beauty and wonder and joy that still exists in the world and still exists in us, especially in times that are hard. Whenever you can look at George, you can look and see that there's still joy, there's still love, there's still hope, there's still faith. And George is reminded that he needs to give to us. He was really just the most amazing monkey. So, with that, thank you, George. Thank you so much. We love you.
All right, thanks, Will. That was good. I'm sorry I was breaking the itinerary. So. Anyways, so we'll share a quick story with you and figure it out. So I probably a lot of you might wonder what it was like to have George behind the scenes when he's not on video. And I'll tell you, it's he was all boys. So those of you that had boys growing up, and even girls to some extent, can be real active all the time. We used to we've taken George on a few road trips, and when we're on the freeways or in interstates or whatever, he's fine. He's in his car seat, and he has his snacks or whatever. It's when we get into the towns where things get funny, because we'll pull up at a red light, and George knew how to use the window controls. So it wouldn't be anything for George to hit the button, and at least one of the cars we had at some point had the type where you hit the button and it goes all the way down. And so George would stick his head out the window, and the people next to us were like, "Is that a monkey?" We're like, "Yeah." Yeah, so, but traveling with him was fun. He got into everything. I think one of the things that sticks in my head that he got into was sunscreen. So we have a little pool, and we took him outside and keep him on. We keep him safe. We keep him secure. But he goes out there and plays and runs around. And before you knew it, he had a bottle of sunscreen, and it was one of the ones that sprays. And he was like this. And I looked at him, and his whole mouth was white, and I'm like, "Did you really do that?" So I was thinking about, the next 30 minutes or an hour, he's going to be sick, and we're going to have to go to the vet. He was fine. So stomach is steel, I guess. I don't know. But that one just sticks out in my mind quite a bit. He had a special bond with his mom. Really did. And, what Will didn't tell you is that when we got him, she was in a dark place in her life with the struggles that she was going through health-wise. And I've told many people that I think that he saved her. Really did. I think that she's here today because we got him when we did. Because it really gave her some purpose and just a lot of something to do and really something to be engaged with. And they had a very special bond, as you know, as you've seen in our videos. So, anyways, a couple things to click before we close out. We're going to leave some yellow and some blue light bulbs lit in memory of George. And I would ask, if you choose to do the same, great. Send us a picture or send us a video. We'd love to incorporate that some kind of way into our post or something. That'd be great. Other than that, we're going to continue. You've been seeing more and more of Lacey. She's gotten much, much better. We've got a lot of gifts we got to open, and so Lacey's coming around. But really thank you all for taking the time to share with us tonight. We hope that it was a good celebration of life in memory of George. It's something that we didn't take lightly, and it took us a couple of months to put this together. So apologies, it took so long, but as you can imagine, it was very emotional. So from all of us, Georgie boy, we love you, and stay tuned for what's coming next. Thank you.